You know, there's something I've heard from so many folks over 60, something that might sound familiar to you too. It's that feeling of opening your mailbox or checking your bank statement and wondering, where did all the money go? Maybe you've worked hard your whole life, saved up, and thought you had everything under control, only to realize that prices keep going up. Medical bills sneak in, and suddenly, budgeting feels more confusing than ever. But here's the good news. It's never too late to take control of your finances. In fact, with a few simple tweaks and a little bit of planning, you can stretch your dollars further, reduce stress, and enjoy your golden years with confidence. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Practical, no-nonsense budgeting tips designed just for seniors. Now, I know the word budgeting might make some of us cringe. It sounds restrictive, maybe even a little stressful. But think of it this way. A budget isn't about limiting yourself. It's about giving yourself freedom. Freedom to spend on what truly matters. Freedom from worry, and freedom to enjoy life without that nagging voice in the back of your head asking, can I really afford this? So, let's start with the first and most important step. Knowing where your money is going. You'd be surprised how many of us go through the month spending here and there, a coffee with friends, a new pair of slippers, an unexpected prescription, without really keeping track. And before we know it, things feel tighter than they should. The easiest way to fix this, grab a notebook or even just a piece of paper and jot down everything you spend for 1 month, every single dollar. Now, you don't have to make it complicated, no fancy spreadsheets, unless you enjoy that sort of thing. Just write it down. At the end of the month, take a look. You might notice patterns. Maybe you're spending more on dining out than you realized, or perhaps those little subscriptions, the magazine, the streaming service you barely use, are adding up. Once you see it all in front of you, it's much easier to decide where to adjust. And that brings us to the next tip, cutting the sneaky expenses. These are the small recurring charges that slip under the radar. The cable package with 200 channels when you only watch 5, the gym membership you haven't used in years, or the extra insurance on a phone you've already paid off. These might only be 10 or 20 a month, but add them up over a year and suddenly you're looking at hundreds of dollars that could stay in your pocket. Here's a little trick. Call up your service providers and ask if there's a better deal. Companies often have discounts or lower tier plans they don't advertise, especially for seniors. You'd be amazed how much you can save just by asking. And if you're not using something, cancel it. It might feel like a small thing, but those savings add up. And that's money you could be using for something that truly brings you joy. Now let's talk about something that can make a huge difference in your budget. Meal planning. I know, it sounds like something your mother might have done, but hear me out. When we don't plan our meals, we tend to make more trips to the grocery store, buy things we don't need, and end up tossing out food that goes bad. And let's not even talk about those nights when cooking feels like too much work, so we order takeout instead. But here's a simpler way. Once a week, take a few minutes to plan out your meals. Make a list before you go to the store and stick to it. Cook larger batches so you have leftovers for another day. It saves time and money. And if you're feeling adventurous, try swapping 1 or 2 restaurant meals a month for a homemade version. You'll be surprised how much you can save and how satisfying it feels to make something delicious yourself. Now, we've covered a lot already. Tracking your spending, trimming those sneaky expenses, and making meal planning work for you. But there's more to talk about, especially when it comes to making the most of discounts, managing healthcare costs, and finding creative ways to stretch your budget even further. So let's keep going, because when it comes to your financial peace of mind, every little tip helps. Now that we've talked about tracking your spending and cutting back on those sneaky expenses, Let's dive into something that can make a real difference in your monthly budget: taking advantage of senior discounts. You've earned them, so why not use them? Many businesses offer discounts for folks over 60 or 65, but they don't always advertise them. A quick ask can save you money on everything from groceries to prescriptions, even travel. For example, did you know that many grocery stores have a senior discount day? Some offer 5 to 10% off your entire purchase just for showing your ID. Pharmacies often have loyalty programs with extra savings for seniors. And if you love eating out, chains like Denny's, IHOP, and even some local diners give discounts. Sometimes all you have to do is ask. The key here is to get comfortable asking. It might feel a little awkward at first, but think of it this way. Businesses want your loyalty, and they're happy to give you a deal to keep you coming back. Now let's talk about something that's on a lot of our minds: healthcare costs. Medical bills can be one of the biggest budget surprises, especially as we get older. But there are ways to manage them without breaking the bank. First, if you're on Medicare, make sure you're taking full advantage of your benefits. Many people don't realize that Medicare covers things like annual wellness visits, certain vaccines, and even some preventative screenings at no extra cost. Another tip: always review your medical bills. Mistakes happen more often than you'd think. Double charges, services you didn't receive, or incorrect billing codes. If something looks off, call and ask for an itemized bill. You have the right to question charges, and often simply asking can lead to adjustments. And if you're on multiple prescriptions, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about generic options or discount programs. Many pharmacies offer low-cost generics, and some drug manufacturers have patient assistance programs that can drastically reduce costs. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about your home. For many of us, our home is our biggest asset, but it can also be one of our biggest expenses. If you own your home, have you looked into whether you qualify for a property tax reduction? Many states and counties offer senior exemptions or freezes that can save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year. It's worth a quick call to your local tax assessor's office to find out. And if you're feeling like your house is more space than you need, have you considered downsizing? I know, moving can feel overwhelming, but think about it. A smaller home often means lower utility bills, less maintenance, and maybe even some extra cash if you sell and buy something more affordable. Or if you're not ready to move, could you rent out a room? Platforms like Airbnb or even long-term rental options can turn unused space into extra income. Of course, budgeting isn't just about cutting costs. It's also about making your money work smarter. That's why our next tip is all about savings and interest. If you've got money sitting in a regular savings account earning next to nothing, it might be time to explore other options. Many credit unions and online banks offer high-yield savings accounts with much better interest rates. Even a small difference in interest can add up over time. And if you're comfortable with a little more involvement, CDs, certificates of deposit, or treasury bills can be safe ways to earn a bit more on your savings without much risk. The key here is to shop around. Don't just stick with the same bank out of habit. See what else is out there. A 1-hour conversation with a financial advisor, many credit unions offer this for free, could uncover opportunities you didn't even know existed. We've covered a lot so far: discounts, healthcare, home expenses, and smarter savings. But there's one more big piece of the puzzle we need to talk about: staying safe from scams. Unfortunately, seniors are often targeted by fraudsters, and a single scam can wipe out years of careful budgeting. So let's talk about how to protect yourself, because the best budget in the world won't help if your money ends up in a criminal's pocket. When it comes to scams, the golden rule is simple. If it sounds too good to be true, It probably is. Whether it's a phone call claiming you've won a prize, an email saying your bank account is compromised, or even a friendly stranger offering a once-in-a-lifetime investment, always pause and verify. Never give out personal information over the phone or online unless you initiated the contact. And if you're unsure, hang up and call the company directly using a number you know is real, not the one they gave you. Another common scam? Grandparent scams, where someone calls pretending to be a grandchild in trouble, urgently needing money. It's heartbreaking, but the best thing you can do is stay calm and verify the story with another family member before sending anything. And when in doubt, talk to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or even your bank. They can often spot red flags you might miss in the moment. Now let's end on a positive note, because budgeting isn't just about restrictions. It's about creating more joy in your life. Once you've got a handle on your finances, think about what truly matters to you. Maybe it's traveling to see family, picking up a new hobby, or finally taking that dream vacation. When you know where your money is going and have a plan, you can intentionally spend on the things that bring you happiness, without guilt or worry. So let's recap. Start by tracking your spending, then trim those sneaky expenses. Take advantage of senior discounts. Manage healthcare costs wisely, and make sure your home isn't costing you more than it should. Look for ways to grow your savings safely, and always stay alert to scams. Most importantly, give yourself permission to enjoy your money because you've earned it. I'd love to hear from you. What's one budgeting tip that's made a difference in your life? Share it in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on living your best life after 60. Remember, it's never too late to take control of your finances and your future. Here's to making every dollar count